Hi, what's your name?
I'm Mackenzie.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 8th.
Tell us about your Flush experience this year.
Well, every single kid in Baker gives this book and we all read it. It's called Flush. We read a new chapter in every class.
Where does this book take place?
It takes place in Florida.
Is there any water around Florida?
Yeah, there's a ton. Look.
Okay, thank you.
What did you learn from Flush?
I learned that some people might be lazy and they'll just dump things in the ocean when they don't know what really happens when they dump it.
I learned how to save the environment and different things about the environment that can cause it to be destroyed.
That you shouldn't pollute water or anything because it's harmful to the environment.
And then when people pollute our water, and then we drink it, we get lots of diseases.
I like the book Flush because it was suspenseful and I kept wanting to see what would happen next.
I love the book Flush because it teaches kids and people what the right things are in life, not to dump stuff in and it teaches you a good law of not dumping in lakes or stuff. So it's environmental protection and that's always good in the world.
I like the book Flush because it taught about pollution and how it's bad and you could do better stuff than polluting the water.
I think that was wrong that Dustin Newman was doing that because kids were swimming in it and it's pollution and it can harm people.
It was nasty.
I think that's really gross.
I don't think it's normal that somebody just dumps crap in the water, but if kids are swimming in that water, either way it's wrong, but if the kids are swimming in that water, it wouldn't be healthy for them.
Do you know where your poop goes when you flush it? Do you know where your poop goes when you flush it? No. Do you know where your poop goes when you flush it?
Yes.
Where?
Sure.
Do you know where your poop goes when you flush it?
I would think sometimes in the ocean or other bodies of water.
Do you know where your poop goes when you flush it?
The sewers, maybe?
Do you know where your poop goes when you flush it?
Well, I know that it goes down the toilet and to a place where they filter it or something. And yeah, something like that.
Your anchors, Dick, Shant, and Fatina. Noah and Surya with sports. Your weather daily with Arpitha. Your investigative reporters to get the inside scoop, Michaela and Nick. Matt and Chris, the feature creatures. And Andre with world news. Behind the scenes directed by Marina. And together, we are the 2B Video Tech News Team. Special report, the scoop on your poop.
Baker 2B News crew visits. It was a cold day when we arrived at the city of Pontiac's Auburn Wastewater Treatment Facility. But the coldness was nothing compared to the smell. No matter what the smell, we had a job to do, and we intended to finish it. And our mission was to get the scoop on your poop. We arrived at the facility and met our tour guides.
What's your name?
Ruben John.
What do you do here?
I am a plant operator.
Mike Daniels. I'm the operations manager here at the plant, and I oversee the environmental health and safety program here and our compliance program to make sure that we meet our permit.
Now a little background information for Mr. John.
Today may have been drank by Abraham Lincoln, Moses, whoever. It's the same water. It hasn't changed. It's what was created, so we got to conserve it. At wastewater, what we try to do is we get all that water that's been used in the homes, your industries, your hospitals, your homes, the restaurants, all that water has pollutants in it. After it's been used, it's carrying your food, body wastes, chemicals, your soaps, all of that. And you can't just dump that water into the ground. We have to get all the pollutants out of it before we put it back into the environment. This plant treats that. We get all that stuff out and we discharge the clean water into the Clinton River, which runs around this plant. The water that we put into the river is cleaner than the water that's in the river. You stand a better chance of getting sick if you drank the water straight out of the Clinton River before it hits this plant. The water coming out of this plant is about 95% pure. It's still not up to standard for drinking for human consumption, but if you were to ingest some of it, it's not the end of the world. You wash your clothes, you wash your hands, you use the restroom, take a bath. All that water goes down into the drain in this city, in Pontiac, everywhere. In the city of Pontiac, all that water collects into the sewer system and comes to this plant.
The plant operators gave us our helmets.
It isn't black, it isn't brown. This is the correct color. In fact, if I come in here and I see any odd colors, like a couple of years ago, a soap company somewhere, they discharged some dyes, and this thing looked like Kool-Aid, looked like green Kool-Aid, so we knew we had issues. So I always check here first thing in the morning when I do my rounds. I check this to make sure the air bubblers are running, and that air is doing two things to the sewage that's coming in. One, it's changing to specific gravity, so all the heavy stuff settles down. The other thing is it's adding oxygen to the sewage to freshen it up. If you cut out oxygen from, say, sewage, the organic material in it, the bacteria, they start breaking down, they eat, they decompose, and that's where you get that stinky smell from. The hydrogen sulfide smell like rotten eggs. So the air freshens it up, keeps the water a little fresher as we go through the process. Yes.
How do you keep the water from freezing? Just the movement?
It's just the movement, and it's about 50 to 60 degrees, so it stays that way.
Okay.
There are metal rakes that all these rags and papers and everything collects against it. All the hairballs that get flushed down your toilet or go down your bathtub, they collect against them. And then we run this machine that goes down. It's got teeth on it like forks. They go down, scoop it up, bring it out. And it dumps it in there. So the next time you think about flushing something down the toilet, think of where it's going to end up.
The next step.
It comes underneath our feet. Comes up to this box. We call this the diversion chamber. It splits up. We send it to those tanks. Those are called clarifiers. What we're doing is clarifying the water. We're going to get a lot of the organic material that made it out of that building to settle into these clarifiers. We give it about, Mike, detention time, is that about 3 hours?
About, yes.
It takes about 3 hours. Once the water makes it to that tank, it takes 3 hours for the water to come out of it. How we do it was we feed it in from the middle. Once that particle, let's say a particle,
What he's saying is,
comes up the middle, it takes 3 hours for that particle to travel
it would
to
take
get to the
3 hours
tank
for
and
that
go
very
over.
same drop.
In that 3 hours, all the organic material from it is settling to the bottom. It compacts at the bottom like a sludge.
Tank and everything has a tension on it.
You notice there's sweeps that go across the top of the tank wheel slope. And there's a sweep at the bottom of the tank that's slowly collecting the sludge.
But we know
that will pump away.
there's a lot of variables.
and it actually goes up to that round building up there called a digester.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Many other
I just want you to keep in mind digester and sludge, primary clarifier. Bubble air through it because these bacteria, they need air to survive just like us. It helps them breathe, it keeps them hungry. They want to eat the phosphates and ammonia in this water. So we let them have at it. And they proliferate. The more they eat, the more they grow. And we want to see this brown color. If the water starts to lose the brown color, if it starts getting clear, we've got issues. The other thing the air does in this process is it keeps the stuff moving. It helps the bacteria and the phosphates and ammonia in the water to mix. If we were to remove the air, not only would the bacteria die, but they would also settle to the bottom. And we don't want that at this stage. So the air serves two purposes. It keeps the mixing going, and it keeps the bacteria in the water alive. All right. Yep. We'll have to get them out. We have to remove most of the chlorine because the DEQ requires that we do. That green pump over there pulls the concentrated bleach, pumps it down to the tertiary.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along and get.
This report was brought to you by the BBC and sponsored by the upcoming motion picture